Creating a cult-like community is the latest fixation for businesses as they try to keep up with influencers and creators who have, you guessed it, built cult-like communities. Why? Because these communities are an engagement magnet and a revenue generator. It's not about amassing followers. It's about taking that it takes a village energy, bringing it into the online space and building a community of your own. One that's loyal to you and shows it with engagement and conversions. Brands and influencers and creators who don't come with this approach will hear only crickets on every post, as opposed to the screaming roar of superfans. So let's get into how to build a cult-like community.
This is The Hyphenate.
First, set the foundation. Every strong community rallies around a common enemy or mission, so think about what your community will stand for and against. You don't want to exclude people, but you do want to rally people who share your values. You could do that with a simple line in your social media bio or creating a dedicated post that you pin to the top of your profile. And what kind of behavior will you not stand for? Like, for example, if there's toxic energy and bullies in the comments, what will you say to them in response? Because you're like, nah, I'm not here for that. And you want to set the foundation for engagement, which means you need to create a thriving environment for engagement to flourish. So what does that mean? Yes, an online community is technically one-sided, but you can still get your community to engage. Asking a question is one way to get people to respond to your post and engage with you. That could be at the end of your TikTok video. It could be at the bottom of your Instagram caption, at the last slide of your carousel. Whatever question you're asking, it's going to get them to comment or DM you and get them to engage with you. And commenting isn't the only way for people to engage. They can also repost, they can share, they can like. So you can create highly savable and shareable content like carousels, videos with multiple hooks, aesthetic posts. All that stuff will be something that people will want to save for later. They'll want to share it with their friends, add it to their Instagram story, for example. The thing you want to do is build the rituals and the language that's unique to your online community. Every creator has a way of saying things. So for example, Inspired Media Co., her name is Alyssa, she says, building unselfish, you-coded content. That's unique to her. You also want to establish recurring rituals or have a signature series. I would recommend having no more than 2 because you're going to have content sandwich in between your series, but the point of a series is to create a routine. It's to encourage people to come back to your page for whatever post that you're doing that's going to be a consistent, ongoing thing. You want to share your story, share the behind the scenes stuff, share all the good, the bad, the messy, the ugly. And a lot of people ask me, how do I stay consistent when nothing's happening or when things aren't going good? Share that too. You still want to show the behind the scenes and show people into your world because people will enjoy and appreciate you giving them a peek behind the curtain. It'll make them feel closer to you, can support you and root for you when things are tough, but then they'll celebrate with you when things are amazing. I know it can be scary to be transparent or to just, share your opinions on things that might be polarizing, but at the end of the day, if you try to attract everyone, you'll attract no one. Sometimes you have to be a bit polarizing. You don't want to make people feel ostracized, but you still want to attract the people that align with your values, that share your beliefs, right? So yes, you might get the troll in the comment every once in a while or people who disagree in the comments, but that's just what it is. That they're not part of your community. They're not meant to be part of your community. You want to find the people that are meant to be in your community. And your community does not have to be big. You do not need 50,000 followers that are not really that invested when you could have 500 followers that are locked in. So don't buy followers. Let me say that again. Do not buy followers, but do engage with the followers that you have, even if it's as low as 30. How do you nurture them? Well, first things first, if they comment, respond to their comment as soon as possible. And don't just do emojis like 3 hearts. Try to say something meaningful. Sometimes, sure, yeah, hearts are all that you can really reply to in terms of what the comment says. But if you can, try to say something that's a little bit more intentional in your comments. Measure the metrics that matter, not vanity metrics. So followers, cool, awesome, not really that important in terms of content. You want to focus on things like likes, comments, shares, reposts. All that stuff will show that people are actually engaging with your content. And if you don't know how to get people to engage, again, getting them to respond by asking them a question is going to really help with your engagement. Looking at what people are saying in the comments and creating posts in response to them makes them feel like they're seen and heard and valued, and inviting them to participate. So asking them, what should I post next? That'll get them involved in the content creation process and it'll feel like you value their opinion. That'll get them to engage too. And on the note of getting them to be involved in the content creation process, you can create levels to this. So participation feels exclusive. So one thing that you can do is actually create like an Instagram membership where the people join and it's like a private community where you can share exclusive insider information that only they get to know. Instagram memberships are one great way to reward your early adopters and your super loyal members of your cult-like community, giving them extra extra exclusive stuff, but it doesn't just have to be on Instagram, and it also doesn't just have to be on social media. I encourage you to think about your cult-like community off platform. So yes, you could do a Facebook group, but you could also do a Slack channel. You could do a Substack newsletter or an email newsletter. You could do a webinar, a mastermind, an in-person meetup. Yes, this video is about creating a cult-like community on social media, but no one wants to spend their whole lives on social media, not even social media managers. Finding a way to maintain your cult-like community off platform will only make it stronger. But I know you're probably thinking, Jamila, I can barely manage one platform, let alone multiple, let alone off platform shit. What are you talking about? I know. Hold, pause. I'm gonna help you out, okay? Let's talk about how to manage your multiple platforms, whether it's just social media like Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, or if you're doing things off platform. So let's talk about it. So one thing you wanna do is set schedules for creating your content, for sharing your posts, for resharing it to Instagram story, for responding to comments, again, promptly, for also interacting with the community. So actually going to other people's pages, looking at other people's content, commenting, liking, sharing, engaging with them. You want to set schedules for that so it's not like a time suck. And I would say the biggest thing is to repurpose your content for multiple platforms and different levels of varying access. So for example, you could create an ebook. That could be 10 blog posts. Each blog post could be 4 emails in a monthly series. That one blog post could be 4 Instagram carousels and 8 reels. And that's just one blog post out of the 10 that you made from the one ebook. You see how repurposing your content helps you with managing all the different platforms that you have? So I would say start with the big thing. If you're on social media, you might not have anything else, but maybe you have an email newsletter or a blog, or you have a digital product. Start with the big thing first and then break it down into smaller chunks that ladders down into your different platforms: email, blog, YouTube, podcasts, social media, that kind of thing. So that will help, because it's going to be too much work to try and create content for all these places when you can just break one thing down into different pieces of content that could work for all these different spaces. The next thing I'd say is to give your cult-like community something to rally around. Like I said before, people usually find their community when they have a common enemy or a mission. So think about what change you're trying to make in the world. Well, for example, you could be a girl who gained a lot of weight and you're doing a 75 hard challenge or some kind of fitness challenge, and you're trying to encourage people who also feel really heavy and want to get the weight off, to get them into the gym, to not feel so scared to be around the gym bros and the fitness girlies. Or you could ask your cult-like community to help you customize a product that you're making. And for every win, whether that's beating a personal record or creating a new flavor for your drink, or coming up with a really affordable dupe for the super expensive decor item that you saw in a designer place, your community will be happy and they'll be excited because they joined you on this journey and they feel like they're a part of something special. But on that note, I want to talk about who the main character is. It's not you. It's them. You are more of a guide while your cult-like community is a protagonist. Even when you're sharing life updates and things that are happening in your business, I want you to think about the selfless version of that content as opposed to the selfish, you-focused version of that content. You want to focus on them, not you. So for example, I did a day in the life video where I went back to corporate. It was my first day back. As opposed to saying, spend a day in the life with me as a girl who went back to corporate, I say, let's create the new 9-to-5 job aesthetic, inviting them on this journey with me and saying, hey, if you're a corporate baddie, let's do this together and become what shows up on Pinterest. You gotta be consistent with this. I'm not going to say that when times are really hard in your life that you have to post on social media. No. If things are happening in your life that just make posting hard or interacting with people hard, don't force it. I highly encourage you to take the time you need to rest, but if you can, I encourage you to post consistently. Even if you don't want to post on your main feed, you can go on your story and just say, hey, here's what what's happening lately, or there's nothing much happening lately. How are you doing? What would you like to know? Or I know business is slow for me. Is business slow for you? Asking people questions, sharing what's going on in your life, and evolve with your community. Like I just said, asking questions like, hey, what would you like to know about? What questions do you have about so-and-so? If people start commenting, asking questions about something that you're not really talking about, but it could be something you're talking about, start talking about it. And as you nurture your community and show that you care about them, you have to make sure that you protect them too, because if there is, again, toxic trolls in the comments, bullies, negative comments, you want to protect them and let them know that this cult-like community is a safe space for whoever's in it. So, you might have to ban some people or block some people who are just bringing negativity and bad vibes into the comments, protecting your cult-like community so they feel more aligned with you and feel like You get me, and I want to stay where you are. At the end of the day, building a cult-like community is a long game. It's about showing up consistently, standing up for something that matters, and making people feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves. The communities that last aren't built in a month, they're built through hundreds of small intentional actions. Responding to that comment thoughtfully, sharing the messy behind the scenes moments, celebrating a member's win like it's your own, and staying true to your values even when it costs you followers. Your community won't look like anyone else's, and that's exactly the point. Some people will join and leave, some people will show up every single day, but the ones that stay, they're your people. They'll buy from you, defend you, spread your message further than any algorithm ever could. Remember, you're not trying to be everything to everyone. You're trying to be everything to someone. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that the right people will find you. And when they do, they'll wonder how they ever did without you. Go build something that people can't stop talking about. But before you do, actually, sorry, if you have questions about content creation, coming up with series ideas, content strategy, more on building a cult-like community, comment below. You can also book a free 20-minute Pick My Brain session. They happen every Friday. You can ask me dedicated personal questions that you might not be able to ask in the comment section. And also, I am building a Notion-based content hub template and idea vault that will be soon available for purchase. So if you want to get more information on that, subscribe to my email newsletter so you get it first.